Welcome to Baz Travels. After driving 14,826 kilometers through 24 states and Washington, D.C., I've seen rocket launches to the Grand Canyon and Hoover Dam. I've explored Route 66, ghost towns, deserts, snow, and beaches on both coasts. From Vegas casinos to Alcatraz, the White House to Hollywood. Join me for a journey of the ordinary and the extraordinary.
Loading destination. Simulation starting in 3, 2, 1. To look around, move your phone or tablet. Click and drag if on a computer or move your head if using a VR headset. Please like and subscribe.
Lacledes Landing is where St. Louis began, not as a skyline or railroad powerhouse, but as a calculated riverfront trading post positioned along the west bank of the Mississippi River. In 1764, Pierre Laclede and Auguste Chouteau selected this stretch of elevated ground because it offered protection and direct access to the river. The Mississippi functioned as a primary transportation corridor of the interior, and choosing a bluff above seasonal flooding allowed commerce to move efficiently without constant risk. The settlement that formed here was deliberate positioning tied to movement, trade, and geography. During the late 18th and early 19th centuries, this riverfront evolved into a distribution gateway for the expanding American frontier. Flatboats gave way to steamboats, increasing cargo volume and frequency. Fur, lead, grain, tools, and manufactured goods passed through these blocks in steady flow. The cobblestone streets that remain today were laid to withstand iron wagon wheels and immense weight, reinforcing that the district was built for work rather than display. The warehouse buildings lining the landing were constructed primarily in the mid to late 19th century. Thick brick walls, cast iron storefront details, and tall arched windows reflected industrial practicality and structural endurance. These were storage and transfer facilities designed to move goods quickly between riverboats and later rail cars, with efficiency shaping the architecture more than ornament. As railroads expanded in the late 19th century, river dominance declined. Yet this district adapted instead of fading. Rail lines ran parallel to the waterfront, reinforcing St. Louis as a transport hub between water and steel. River access, rail proximity, and warehouse capacity formed a layer of logistical systems compressing into a few compact blocks. By the mid-20th century, shifting freight patterns and rise of interstate highways weakened river-based commerce. Many American riverfront districts were demolished or abandoned. Lacledes Landing survived partly because its masonry construction made demolition expensive, and partly because preservation advocates recognized its historic value before redevelopment erased it. In the 1970s and 1980s, the district shifted from industrial utility to social energy. Former storage floors became restaurants, clubs, and entertainment venues. The same cobblestones that once absorbed wagon traffic began carrying pedestrians instead. An adaptive reuse transformed function without stripping away structural character. The original logic remains visible. The elevation above the river still explains why the site was chosen, and the building scale still reflects 19th century commerce. The narrow street grid follows the riverbank rather than a modern planning diagram. Lacledes Landing matters not simply because it's old, but because its purpose is still legible. This is where St. Louis anchored itself to the Mississippi River. Long before the arch symbolized the gateway in stainless steel, this riverfront embodied it in commerce and geography.
Simulation terminated. Please comment, like and subscribe.